Hi, everyone. We are here with the open mic for the Smoky Winter Fete, and we have nine, possibly 10 readers today. And this is this is the Smoky Winter Fete is celebrating the Smoke Long Quarterly Award for Flash Fiction, which is the deadline for this is April the 30th, and we can't wait to read your work. Now, our first reader is Mamie Willoughby Pound. Mamie was born in Alabama and still lives in the Deep South. Her work has appeared in Mule School of Southern Lit, Smoke Long Quarterly, the James Dickey Review, Image Journal, and has work forthcoming in Gooseberry Pie Literary Review. Her work was long listed. Her story was long listed for Craft Fiction's 2020 Short Fiction Prize and nominated for a Pushcart Prize. And is this the story you're going to read?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. What are you going to read for us today, Mamie?
I can't remember if this started in the micro and just grew. You know, I wrote it in the last few weeks, and technically it's still in the draft form, but it's close. It may have started in fitness, but it's 600 and something words, so it's way too long for micro.
Okay.
So thank you for letting me share. It's called One Could Taste This Earth. In a crowd of friends, Henry stands too close to the fire, and Loretta. There's whiskey, it's late, he watches her. Loretta tells a story about her daddy when she was 6. Mama warned Daddy not to get on the road because of tornadoes that night, but he did it anyway so he could show off the new house and his new wife, and because he wasn't going to take orders from Mama anymore. All the 18-wheelers parked under the overpasses for safety, but he kept going because he wasn't afraid. Never went to the basement when the sirens went off in Coleman County. So we're on I-65 North near Vinemont, and the sky was lakewater green. A big metal barn roof peels off and flies away. Pine trees bend sideways, then a second tornado drops into the field on the other side of the road. We could just barely see it, only when there was lightning, and each time it flashed, the tornado was a little closer. Granny, who never talked about Jesus before, was praying and crying. Henry thinks of his granny who raised him in rural Alabama, forever in a haze of Pall Malls, butterscotch-colored smoke burns on her white formica countertops, how she could peel an entire apple in one long piece, and the smell of manure from the hen house that had traveled for miles on a summer day. She always said he got his daddy's eyes and his mama's lips. The only thing you got from her, she'd say. His mama left when he was 5. Henry won't forgive her, can't trust a woman to stay. He imagines Loretta as a little girl, the weight of her tiny body standing in the seat of her daddy's truck, one arm tied around his neck, tornadoes falling from the sky. Something of that child is still there, he thinks, in the way she talks about her father, the way she skitters over the part about being afraid, and how her eyes light when she describes the unholy wind. Loretta leaves out the part about how she met her stepmother for the first time that same night, in the new house, dark because the electricity was out, her stepmother's shoe-polished black hair, and how the new mother stood near a candle burning on the kitchen countertop, so that her features waved up and down her face, flickering between kindness and monster, hands neatly crossed like she posed for a Polaroid, as if she had to force them to be still, and how her mouth folded into a line that just curled at its edges. Loretta's favorite thing about the house had been its orange metal fireplace, replaced by a real brick hearth by the time she came to spend the night for the first time months later. How her room there was beige and plain with a polyester bedspread and no dolls or pictures, unlike her stepbrother's room with dozens of Star Wars figures and stacks of grape Hubba Bubba chewing gum. Loretta faces Henry now. She always faces him in a crowd. His head is leaned to the side. He meets her glance each time it sweeps past. He's always wondered about Loretta, whether he could trust her in a forever thing, or if she's the type to run. He pictures how her hair would spread out all around her if she were to lie down on this red-orange rug, the weight of his body heavy against hers, how it could feel to put his hands in her hair and move his mouth all over her. When he's back home again, 3,000 miles away, he'll imagine a life with her, where they ride in a truck, windows down, and how she will taste like a warm, ripe scuppernong. He'll think of the woman who shares his bed now, how they've been together for so long, and the fact she'll never leave him, and how Loretta reminds him of the wind. Thank you.
Oh, I love that ending. Yeah. coming back to the tornadoes. Yeah, and we know tornadoes down where we live. You know, I'm from Nashville, right? And I was like, I-65. Oh, you didn't
Oh
know?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think maybe I did, but you're such a nomad as you call
yeah,
yourself that it's
yeah,
easy to forget. Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Our next reader is Claudia Montpere. Claudia Monpere's flash appears or is forthcoming in Split Lip, Milk Candy Review, Smoke Long Quarterly, Craft, Atlas and Alice, Fictive Dream, Atticus Review, The Forge, and elsewhere. She received the 2023 Smoke Long Workshop Prize. Hi, Claudia. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? I'm so glad that your back is a little bit better.
Oh, thank you. I am too. Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. But yeah, I've been religiously doing my stretches and exercise. Yeah. Video guy will contest that. Okay. Yeah, what are you going to read for us today, Claudia?
I'm going to read a story with a terrible title of Summer Vacation. I got to get a new title for it, but I wrote it. It was either in the Micro Madness or Summer or Winter Fit. I don't remember
Okay.
which one.
Okay.
Okay, Summer Vacation. Mama tried to convince Daddy a beach trip to Pismo would be just as fun as Hawaii. But he was obsessed with Hawaii after his brother posted pictures of a shiny dead pig on a table surrounded by pineapples and a beach with palm trees and no trash. We splurged on new swimsuits at Walmart. When we got off the plane, Daddy bought us leis. He wanted to rent a red convertible, but we couldn't all fit. Wait till you see our hotel, he said. You won't believe it. We didn't. Men in fancy uniforms opened our car doors, taking our suitcases. There was something called a lobby, and it was like a ballroom, all lit up, flowers everywhere, even a waterfall. Standing in line, Daddy described the swimming pool, a river for floating, swim up bar, lava slide, waterfalls. We argued about who would get to go on the slide first. We asked if there were fancy drinks for kids at the swim up bar. Mama rubbed her forehead. You didn't get another credit card, did you? Daddy just grinned. It's all good. At the desk, Daddy pulled out his license. The clerk said there was no reservation under that name. Oh, of course, Daddy said. He pulled out a letter, handing it to the clerk. We get a huge discount on the suite. We just have to attend a timeshare presentation. But this isn't your name, sir. Oh, that's my brother. He gave me the letter. Here, I'll text him if you don't believe me. After something called a credit check, after Daddy yelled about outrageous prices and bait and switch, after we found a motel with a small pool that we could afford, and my sister complained it was a white trash motel, Mama slapped her. Our vacation began.
Oh, I never muted myself. Wonderful. Yes, wonderful. Yeah, there's so much tension there, of course, and it really created great tension. Okay, good. Thank you, Claudia. And our next reader is Amy Blau. Amy Blau is a freelance writer based in Scottsdale, Arizona. She writes short stories, flash, and personal essays. She has written speeches for Don King and U.S. Airways. One of her essays was published in the anthology Nothing Changed But Me. Amy was a finalist in the 55th New Millennium Awards for Flash Fiction and received honorable mention in New York City or NYC Midnight's 100-word microfiction challenge for 2022. Welcome, Amy. How are you today?
I'm good, but wow, following those two, I don't know. Plus, mine is a micro because I thought it was March Micro Madness,
No
and
worries.
it's exactly 100 words, which I'm
Excellent.
shocked about. And it's called "The Elephant in the Middle of My Stomach." When I was 6, I stole an elephant from my friend Tina. It was a small stone elephant, smooth and reddish brown. I kept it in my bedside drawer with the rest of my shame. Occasionally, I took it out and caressed it. The elephant lived inside me, too, its leathery trunk twisting around my intestines, my liver, my heart. It grew so large I could only walk bent over. At 13, I tried to give the elephant back. I stole this from you when I was 6, I told Tina. She wouldn't take it. It's not mine, she said.
Yeah. Have you sent that out yet?
No, I have. No, this was for the object one.
Yeah,
No, I haven't
sure.
sent it out.
Sure. Oh, that's good. I like it. So I'm really wishing you success with it. Yeah, I'm sure
Thanks.
it'll get picked up soon. Yeah. And our next reader at the open mic is Elise Liu. Elise Liu is an immigrant, third culture kid writer, immersive artist, and technologist. Among other places, her work is being published in Rattle, the Found Poetry Review, Thought Catalog, The Millions, and corporate digital trash cans around the world. She is the recipient of the 2023 Paper Moon Prize for Fiction. Elise lives in San Francisco with 2 cats and is working on her first novel. What's your cats' names?
My cats are Cato and Cassandra. The Cato was named by an ex who did not know about the Institute, but did know about the Stoics. That's how that happened. Yeah.
What are you going to read for us today?
I'm going to just read a short from Soklang. This is my first time doing it. I just joined. I heard about this program with Soklang like 3 weeks ago, actually, from Ani, who's here, and I was very excited to be doing it. And then I did all my homework, turned it in.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna read workshops so I can hear myself reading the story I just turned in today, which is a revision. It's called Her Lover, the Universe. He's always with her. You've gotta wonder, always? Yes, always, your wife explains. At the checkout line, the universe cries out from a ginger cardamom dark chocolate bar that she deserves it. When her jeans hit her thighs and stop there, the universe tells her she needs to take more responsibility. You'd never say that. Meanwhile, he's whispering, buy the lotto ticket, just to be teaching her equanimity in losing. Like when her DCIS turns stage 2 and she loses both breasts, and her surgeon is the universe, teaching her to give herself rest. If she'd said God, you might have seen it from the start. But now this is your wife, and these are her friends sending her taped cavities, good vibes, and healing prana while you run them LaCroix and brownies. Hell, sometimes even you hear him. Not here, but in the redwood forest up north in the last sacred places. You take her there. You watch her pick her way through the underbrush, crushing the leaves and twigs below. Watch her turn her turbaned head up and down from the canopy of prayer to their roots slithering under feet. She's listening hard for him among the crickets and toads and every species of bird, each with its call, layered one above another, and the silences range between. Every year, the gaps thicken. You take her hand, or she takes yours, and you just stand there, waiting for the universe, for any old absolution.
Nice. Thank you so much, Elise. Thank you for reading. Our next is, I didn't actually say who was going to do this, but our next reader is Polly Hansen, and then the reader after that is Suzanne Biro. Polly Hansen is a journalist and radio producer. Her unpublished memoir, Nasty Girl, won Memoir Magazine's 2022 Memoir Prize for Books, Coming of Age category. Her work is published in numerous journals and one short story anthology. She lives in Asheville, North Carolina, with her husband and 2 black dogs, often mistaken for black bears, little bears on leashes. You can find her at pollyhansen.com and at 9 of Pentacles. Hi, Polly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. So you live in Asheville, North Carolina, and that looks like
That's my backyard.
like the Smokies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Lindsay Farr?
No.
She's a writer that we know very well, and she lives in Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, what's her last name?
Farr, Pharr.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I'll
So
have to look for her.
yeah, we need a little cell there in Asheville. Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
you're almost in Tennessee.
Yeah, almost in Tennessee. Well, I waited 36 years to get here, so
Oh no.
I was a Chicagoan for 50 years.
Ah,
Still waiting
okay.
for 54 years.
Okay. I am originally from Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
I'm from Nashville. So
Okay.
just down the road from
Oh, I
you.
know. I drove over to Parnassus.
Ah, to the bookstore
Yeah.
in Green Hills.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's too
Yeah.
small. They need to buy the Chinese restaurant right next to them and just create an enormous bookstore there. But who knows? Okay.
Oh, maybe they
Uh,
will.
okay.
Okay.
Maybe well.
So
What would you like to read?
this was the one where we use you,
Yeah.
and I was resistant to it, but I think I came up with something that worked. Okay.
Excellent.
You did not listen. He was beautiful to you, beautiful. His soft hazel eyes looked directly into yours, and you smiled, nervous yet elated, as if you were the best thing he had ever seen. Thing, take care, my love. Pay attention to that word. Do not trust in love at first sight, even though you are swooning like in a fairy tale. And because you are impressionable at 13, just a few short weeks away from 14, and because your family is disintegrating, crumbling, and you feel invisible, and his gaze feels like the spotlight you have craved, you take his outstretched hand, let him hold yours, and feel him gather you in like you are already his. You want to accept this invitation, long to glow with importance, like you matter. But my love, do you not know that you are already special? I weep because you do not listen, even to your stuffed animals, your only confidants, imbued with your tenderness and truest self. When you tell them of him, you do not listen when they say, "Do not go with this man." But you do. You accept his invitation to the zoo because it is what you have wished for in your dreams and waking thoughts, to be cherished. And though you are terrified, you climb into his car. Your first stop is the reptile house. In the shadows of those dimmed corridors, he kisses you, his lips soft, his breath warm. You grow cold. Your knees shake. A family interrupts. You skip away, but you cannot escape.
Oh, I agree. That is chilling. Yeah, and I love how it became more and more sinister. Yeah, I lean into that. It can be definitely definitely a sinister situation. And good advice. Don't go with that, man. Goodness. Yeah. All right. Our next reader is Suzanne Biro. Suzanne Biro lives in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, where Ontario spills into the St. Lawrence River. She practices creative writing in the margins of professional policy advising on public health matters. Probably should have been a poet. Obviously loves alliteration. Hi, Suzanne.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. Okay, what would you like to read for us?
I'm going to read a micro that was done just this week, actually. It was also the same assignment that Polly referred to with the second person assignment, but mine's 100 words, so it's super short. Okay. And it's first draft, except for I did change the title, so this is absolutely first draft.
Perfect. We love first drafts.
My dear friend Nick ends months of hard-won sobriety with canned Caesars. You hear the sunlight striking the concrete. Your hangover is so bad. It's too easy to believe angels reside in the dregs. From your vantage point next to the sewer grate guttering the borders of Memorial Parking Garage, the Milky Way is close, though fading with the dawn. You imagine the red flash of angel wings unfurling, spreading out up there with smiley benevolence. That's easier than feeling the silence, the absence of wings that beat your heart to flight. Snapped bones, bent feathers, the only remains after throttling the gaseous cloud of wonder you used to call yourself.
Oh, wow. Okay. Lovely. We now, actually, because we had two micros there, let's do one more, and then we have three in the last. So Beth Sherman, who recently successfully defended her PhD dissertation, has an MFA. Well, okay, do we need to edit this maybe? Beth Sherman has an MFA in creative writing from Queens College, where she teaches in the English department. Her stories have been published in Portland Review, Blue Mountain Review, Tangled Locks Review, One Underwood Story, Fictive Dream, Flash Boulevard, Sou'wester, and elsewhere. Her work will be featured in the Best Microfictions 2024 anthology. She's also a Pushcart, Best Small Fictions, and multiple Best of the Net nominee. Welcome, Beth.
Hey everyone, thanks Christopher. My story is a micro too. It's a little longer than 100 words. I wrote it recently, just a few weeks ago, in Smoke Long in Fitness. I Flacco. My story begins with a cage the size of a bus stop. Fake rocks, branches, painted forest. I pace, flit side to side, exhausted and bored. Bite the wire until each dead rat tastes metallic. I sulk, I sleep, curse the zookeeper's kindness. I hold each day in my beak, crack it open. I preen, blink my pumpkin orange eyes. No matter what I do, you aim your phones. Then one night, when the moon is swallowed by ravenous stars, a man in a mask cuts the wires. I fly up, 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 swooping between gray limestone canyons, soaring over treetops between water towers. Fly higher. The city trembles beneath my claws. Wind tickles my feathers. Lights jigsaw below. I learn to catch my own rats. See them skitter when I approach, dancing into my talons. I, Flacco, king of owls. I triumph. In Central Park, I stretch my wings and pigeons shudder. Seasons spin, maple leaves, frost, cherry blossoms, ice cream trucks. Through the glass, I watch you now. Watch you eat, sleep, dream, love, my friends. I perch outside your enclosures as you move through your cages, applauding each trace of wildness, each day wriggling free, hallucinating the release of rain. You wonder how it can be done. That blink of freedom, shimmery and elusive. Was it worth the price? 1 year gliding above skyscrapers, nestled in the secret hollows of oaks. You adore me, hate the rats. If the story ends with poison, is it truly an ending or a fairy tale gone sour? I float. Through the windows, you point your phones, reaching for my silhouette, that whisper in the dark.
Nice. Oh, excellent.
Thank you.
I guess I am the only person here who doesn't know who Flacco is. Okay, good. But everybody's like, yay, Flacco, Flacco. But, okay, I've got some research to do. But a great animal point of view. We need more animal point of view stories that work. That one works, it's good, right? And so sometimes the animal point of view is extremely hard to get right. But when it works, it works. And thank you, Beth. That works. Our next reader is Alyssa Field. Alyssa Field's work has appeared in Smoke Long Quarterly, Reckon Review, Citron Review, Had, Monkey Bicycle, Ghost Parachute, Hypertext, Conjunctions, and elsewhere. She is currently shortlisted for Fractured Lit's next anthology and has a story coming out in Fictive Dream in April. Her obsession outside of Flash is literary noir, which she should be querying. Are you querying?
No, I'm being lazy about it. I need to.
Okay. Well, where would you query?
I had an agent, a really, really good agent, track me down when I went to Aspen Summer Words, and it's a laptop crash away, and so I need to track that agent down because
Okay.
they actually asked for a full. So that would be my starting point.
Excellent. Okay, so that's your mission for this week. All right, great. What would you like to read?
My face said I was planning May.
What would
All
you
right.
like?
So I'm going to read. It's y'all know I don't write short, and it's this is one of my shorter ones. It's about 550 words, and it is the one that Fictive Dream just accepted a couple days ago. And a couple of you guys may have read it. It's called. Chris, I wrote this after the sex intensive last spring. So I think that one's when you should run again. It's called Love Story Waiting for the Last Flight Leaving Galway After the Conservation Consortium. When fog cancels flights and they give us tickets for one free drink at the bar, I say to you, the schoolmate I'd run into as a stranger at your panel on global kelp preservation, now seated next to me, 1 hour and 2 drinks in, the sexiest thing in the world is a basking shark. You think it's not. You pull the damp napkin from beneath my drink and fish in my tiny purse for a pen, cadge one out from behind the ledge of the bar when all you find is my underwater slate. Because you need me to see this, need to draw for me the glorious aerodynamic perfection of a black-tip reef shark, carefully darkening the tips of those fins, delicately marking in the precise daggers of teeth and a mouth panted open in perpetual hunger. You look up at me, that way I'd always wanted you to do, a look full of intention, insistent know-it-all, almost a bully, that telescopes in a rapid inhale of the entire universe, becoming something else entirely when our eyes lock. You note first that yes, I was actually paying attention. And then, holy fuck, I can see it as clear as if it writes itself on the smartboard at the back of your eyes. This breathless recognition, it is me. It is me. It is me sitting beside you. And yes, holy fuck, did you really just look at me this way? One hand still steadying my damp curled napkin, the other with that stolen pen poised, making sure I was watching, almost forgetting in a star-seared second that you were arguing with me, almost forgetting which shark you were about to draw. I don't want the moment to end, so I whisper reminder, basking. You nod in stupor, remembering to breathe. With the greatest care I've ever seen, you draw the ugliest bucket mouth of a shark, its eyes tiny, piggish, its entire body bloated outward, distended like sheets blown out on a line, entirely inefficient in its open-mouthed effort to inhale food, its sleek back end nearly irrelevant and crusty as ancient rock. I don't have the heart to tell you, I'd named the wrong shark. I love so much the deep inked indentations where you've worn the lines of your sharks into furrows, the stretched dents beneath the tips of your fingers like pillows left dented side by side in a bed. It's been a while. You don't know that I am now a marine biologist, that I could match your cartoonishly accurate drawings with the schematic of Taurus, the courtship ritual of basking sharks I'd been studying here off County Clare, as males and females arrive from thousands of lonely miles in the ocean to circle each other for hours and hours. What I was thinking was what I'd noted as numbers all over data charts, that ravenous, magnetic horniness en masse. But what I'd meant when I saw you, when I said it, was nurse sharks, the way they slumber together in the dark recesses of a reef, their eyes sluggish and spent. You look down at your sharks, sleek or ungainly in their craving. I don't need to say. I hear the sound when you swallow before writing your number and passing those sharks my way.
Yeah, I love that. Every line. It's good.
Y'all, I can't read that one without laughing. Sorry, I broke up halfway through.
Why? Why? What happened? Uh, but I was thinking nurse sharks the whole time. And when you said, oh, again, I told you the wrong, it was a nurse shark. I thought, well, yeah, okay. I love nurse sharks. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Alyssa. Um, and our next reader is Susan Israel. Susan Israel is the author of two crime novels, Over My Live Body and Student Bodies, from the Story Plant. Her short fiction is being published by Dark Winter Literary Magazine and Jake, among others. Her website is susanisrael.net. She lives in Connecticut. Hi, Susan.
Here I am.
There you are. Yeah. Take it away, Susan.
Okay. I wrote both of these for the micro workshop. And the first one, I don't know if there's anything else I can do with this, but I'll read. Red. I don't get it, the woman said. Is this art? Well, of course it's art, or it wouldn't be hanging on the wall here, the man replied, his intonation suggesting he might have added would it, but thought better of it. I'm not seeing it. Everything's not water lilies and sunflowers, you know. He stepped closer to the painting, too close. A security guard he hadn't noticed stepped into view. You'll set off the alarm. Oops, sorry. She frowned. Would you want this hanging in your living room? In our living room, no, because it would clash terribly with the orange and purple. But otherwise, yeah, I could see it in the living room. Maybe Roscoe's living room. Roscoe's dead. Probably killed himself after working on that day and night. He didn't want to tell her she was partially right. He reached for her hand just as she folded her arms. It's only a painting that's worth millions, he thought. Why are we fighting over this? Could you imagine this in a bedroom, she persisted? Could you imagine trying to sleep looking at that? All that red, color of blood. She shuddered. When was the last time she had her period? How late was it? The only red she wanted to see, and there was no sign of it. Just a big blob of red on canvas. Could you imagine it in a nursery? No, he shook his head emphatically. No, I definitely can't. But it's not like we have to worry about that, is it? So, shall I read the other one?
Sure.
Okay, this one I wrote this week in the reverse chronology assignment. Smoke. They're prepping him for surgery now. IVs inserted in matchstick veins secured with tape, fluids dripping at a hypnotic rate. You're going to feel a prick, the nurse with big boobs alerts him as she aims yet another needle at him like a dart. I am a prick, he thinks. He's too tired to say it. Tired and weak. But he'll feel better afterwards, right? That's what they told him, as long as you stop smoking. They found the pack of Marlboros tucked under his Johnny shirt and confiscated it. I can always buy more. He longs for the days when he could smoke at restaurants and bars and stadiums and just about everywhere, looking so cool, blowing perfect rings, before he was relegated to shrouded doorways, then 100 feet away from the door, then practically out in the fucking street. The exhaust from buses is worse, for Christ's sake. He and his squad in the boys' room in high school, exchanging puffs, checking the corridors for teachers that might catch them and report them to the principal. They flushed the butts down the toilet fast when they heard footsteps and cranked the windows wide open even in January. He was raised in a house of smoke, cigarettes dangling from his parents' lips, practically from the time they were diapering him. They'd flick ashes off his bassinet and douse the butts with running water, then light another. His uncles even rolled their own. Candy cigarettes in every Halloween bag and Christmas stocking. He posed with them clenched in the gap between his teeth. You look so grown up, the adults squealed. And now he was a grown up and about to lose a lung and wasn't letting on about that carton he had smuggled to him and hid under his mattress. He drifts off to drugged sleep, smelling antiseptic.
Thank you so much, Susan. Yeah. Uh, I think you really did use a reverse chronology very well there. It was seamless. Like you would have to like really think about that, but just putting him back and back and back and back and back. That really worked organically. Thank you. Our last reader is Ani King. They, them pronouns, please. Is a queer, gender non-compliant activist, writer, and artist from Michigan. They are a recent Smoke Long Mikey finalist and the winner of the Blue Frog Flash Fiction Prize. Story coming out later this month. You can find more of their work at aniking.net. Hi, Ani.
Hello.
Going last. Say
I'm
Bonnie.
going last.
I know I hate going last, but I'm sorry. Somebody
It's
has
okay.
Yeah. What are you going to read for us today?
So I'm actually going to read a story that I had come out in Split Lip last month called Lost Mother, Mother, Mother. It is not micro length, but it is flash length. But I always wanted to read this one out loud because it was kind of written with that in mind. So
Excellent.
all right. June, always rain, always ants after it rains, always beetles smacking against the window and stink bugs polluting the air no matter the weather. Always fruit flies and regular flies buzzing and mosquitoes biting. Always water dripping in the bathroom. Always a man knocking at the door trying to get in. Always yacht rock and classic rock on the radio and dancing silly in the kitchen and eating macaroni straight from the stove. You turn 16 and instead of happy birthday, your mother sings Rod Stewart's Forever Young at top volume while you blow out the candle on your cupcake. Your mother turns 34 a few days later and stays out all night with a different man than the one who is always knocking. For a new man, your mother always opens the front door until she doesn't. Your mother always makes her decisions about men while sitting on the toilet smoking and humming. Your mother always burns the edges of the bathroom sink with her cigarette. Your mother always ducks out the bathroom window when any man is hanging around too much. When she leaves, it smells like white musk body spray and nail polish and smoke. Always when she leaves, it's baby, I love you. Make sure I remember to lock the door. Always, baby, don't tell anyone where I've been. Always you going out the door to work at the truck station food counter. Always you coming back in the night with the food you were supposed to throw away. You eat on the couch, saving half of everything for your mother. Then in the morning, only a wasp coming through the window. July, less rain, different ants, more beetles and flies. Always the smell of something rotten that you can't find. Always a man knocking and another flinging payment notices towards the door. Always wasps buzzing around the door. Always bracing before running out. Always fumbling with the keys. Always slamming the door like, Jesus fuck, you're going to get stung one of these days. But they never sting you. The single wide whines tunelessly and steady. The wasps are moving into the walls. Your mother hasn't come back in through the window humming Is This Love or any of her favorite songs. Your mother hasn't been to work and she's not welcome back if you do happen to see her. Always someone telling you she probably just ran off again. You know it's still the two of you against everything, though. You know your mother always comes back. You know your mother would threaten to kill you if you changed her radio station, so you sing along with Free Fallin' and More Than a Feeling like they're incantations that will bring her home. Always leaving notes on the counter so she knows where you'll be. Always keeping the window cracked open just in case. Always trying to summon your mother. You burn her cigarettes like incense on the edge of the bathroom sink. Always painting your nails her shade of baby girl pink and spraying white musk body spray and cranking up the Rod Stewart. Always checking the carton of cigarettes in the freezer and the stale open pack on the table, but the count never changes. Always eating macaroni by yourself and leaving half congealing on the stove. Still that man keeps knocking. Still him asking if you know where your mother is. Always him getting stung, stung, stung. August, never rain. No rain, no ants, no garbage, no flies, still mosquitoes at night. No water to drip day and night, no power, so no lights, no fan, no stove. Only showering on the sly and eating truck station nachos and hot dogs at work. Only you getting home and ducking through the bathroom window. The trailer is papered with notices like a wasp nest, the door sealed by layers of paper and wasp spit. No one can enter but you. Never anyone knocking anymore. Never anyone looking for your mother anymore. Never listening to your mother's music on the radio anymore. Only changing the battery so it plays your music too. No rain is your favorite. The wasps like the music. They fill your mother's jeans and t-shirts, and now your wasp mother home's forever young. Your wasp mother is thousands of mothers wearing your mother's black high heels while they dance with you in the kitchen. Your wasp mother comes in through the windows and the walls. Your wasp mother waits for your mother with you. Your wasp mother takes care of everything.
That's stunning, Ani. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and if people want to read that, that's at Split Lip. And the recent, actually, an issue just came out, but yours was in the previous issue, right? Is it? Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, it was in February.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. We are at the end of the open mic. Some announcements. We are now planning a Smoke Long Summer 2024. Remember, if you are in Smoke Long Fitness, it's included, everything's included. All the webinars, the panel discussions, the virtual book fair, and with discounts on flash collections galore, and our big ass raffle. So you might not know that our acronym for a Smoke Long Summer is ASS, Smoke Long Summer. And so internally, when we discuss a Smoke Long Summer, we shorten it to ASS 22 and ASS 23 and ASS 24. And this year we're having our big ass raffle. We're going to give away thousands of dollars worth of prizes. And if you are doing Smoke Long Fitness, of course, you are already entered to win stuff. I don't know. We're just gonna look, stuff, and you just give like a phone or something away. No, I'm not giving anyone my phone. Okay. So that's coming, and it will be publicized very soon. We've made all the plans. We have webinars from Steve Edwards. He's going to be doing a webinar on CNF, and we have a webinar from Ingrid Jędrzejewski. She's going to be doing a webinar on very quickly drafting ideas, and you should come away from that webinar with dozens of story ideas. And Farhana Khalik is going to do a webinar on professionally presenting your work like in a reading, like in an open mic, when you read your work aloud. She's going to do a webinar. She's a professional voiceover artist. And we're going to have a publishers panel from 4 publishers. Autumn House is coming to talk to us. Rose Metal, Abigail and Kathleen from Rose Metal are going to come and talk to us. Leah from Alternating Current Press is going to talk to us. And one more, I can't remember. Marissa from Curbstone Books is going to be from Northwestern. It's an imprint of the Northwestern University Press. So we'll have some interesting perspectives from publishers who do flash collections later in July. So we can't wait for the summer events. Okay. Well, that's the end, everyone. And don't forget, if you're doing the March Micro Marathon, Writing Task 17 goes live tomorrow, and it's all about the imperative. So don't miss it. Using the imperative mood there for you. Okay. So everybody, I'll see you in the workshop. Have a good evening or morning or afternoon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.